Welcome to episode 21 of Two Girls, a Guy, and a TARDIS. I'm your host, John, and I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Joanna and Nicole.
Hello.
Hello.
Who are both here. The bulk of the show is probably going to be talking about our next two classic Doctors, which would be Peter Davison and Colin Baker. But before we get to that, there's a little bit of news we're going to go through. And Joanna's also going to tell us about the Order of the Blue Box photo shoot here in Chicago that was at Lincoln Park Zoo.
That was a lot of fun.
That I unfortunately couldn't make it, and
Who
I
at
really
the
wanted
zoo?
to. Yeah, who at the zoo? Very clever. That's kind of good.
I stole it from Sarah or someone else. Or Terry.
Well, either way, take credit for it.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. Just take credit for
Just
it.
take credit for it. They won't know.
Alright, who at the zoo? So,
You're assuming they listen. No. So, okay, first off, I was flipping through TV channels a couple days ago, and I saw Star Trek The Next Generation was on. Believe me, this leads into who. And I stopped. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll watch this. Wife's not home, and the kid doesn't care what I watch, so I'm watching it. I see an abnormal amount of commercials for Doctor Who and BBC America and Top Gear. I'm like, wow. I'm thinking I'm like on the Science Channel. I'm like, wow, the Science Channel is really like promoting the hell out of somebody else. It's weird. And it took about 15 minutes before I realized I was watching it on BBC America HD.
woo!
So yes, all of you AT&T Uverse viewers, we now do have BBC America HD just in time for the special, which is good because I had no idea how I was going to watch it in HD when I didn't have HD. So
Just imagine it.
close my eyes and
1080.
imagine it.
Watch it and just pretend it's HD.
If I watch it on a small enough screen, it would look HD. It's all about pixel density. So that's kind of cool. Also, the other option I would have had would have been waiting 2 days and going to see it at the theater. Because it's playing in almost every, I think it's playing in every state. It's going to be shown in real 3D, which that's the only thing kind of keeping me away from it. I don't really know if I want to see it in 3D. And I don't know if I really want to see it in the theater either. I mean, like, I almost want to just to be part of it. But, I mean, what do you guys think?
I'm like on the fence about it because like, it would be fun to see it in the theater.
It's
but,
cool that it is going to be in the theater.
Well, the thing is, the magic of Doctor Who is watching it at home. I'm just like, we don't. How many times do we watch Doctor Who in the theater? Not many times, but to me, this is just such a big deal. We need to watch it like at home with your friends, have like a mini pizza party or whatever. So it's a fun thing for me. It's like one of my best memories of watching Doctor Who. One of the many good memories I have of watching Doctor Who is watching it at Anime Central, and watching
you
it
told
with
us about that, yeah.
and watching it with a bunch of friends, and we're all like having the same reaction, and then running into each other, and it's like, wow.
But see, that kind of way of watching Doctor Who didn't exist when I was watching it when I was a kid because it wasn't on until 11 p.m. on Sunday nights. So I'd have to act like I was sleeping, hope my mom was asleep, and the lights were all off, turn my black and white 9-inch TV with knobs
My brother has
on
that too.
so I could watch Doctor Who and hopefully not have anybody catch me. But it's so cool now that you can actually have like that you can like do that now that people actually do want to watch it, and it's not like, you know, back in the day saying you were a Doctor Who fan was kind of like, well, they would say Doctor Who because they had no idea. Is that the guy with the scarf? That's the guy with the scarf, right? So, how about you, Nicole?
I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it in the theater.
But
I
you
mean,
wanna
it's kind of different. I mean, they had the screening that the tickets were free when they did Impossible Astronaut and
Nicole.
Day of the Moon.
guess who got tickets for that?
You did?
Yes.
And I was like, that would be cool to see it on the screen, and they were just gone in like an instant.
I was one of those people that had it. Like the guy from the Chicago Red-Eye, he was there, and he
Oh, you're talking about
like Elliot Serrano.
Elliot. Yeah, Elliot.
So
I haven't talked to him in a
was
while, but nice guy.
there. I was there. So, and that was like the best secret ever. Like,
You want to pick up that name that you dropped?
Elliot Serrano.
Yeah, there you go. It took you a second.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I think I stole that. Might have stole that bit from Chris Hardwick. I don't remember.
No, seriously, it's like he was there. He was interviewing everyone. He saw like our knitted Daleks are quite popular, apparently.
Yeah, and and to be fair, it's been at the theater before, but it was in movie form with Peter Cushing. It wasn't, technically official Doctor Who. I mean, it was, but it wasn't, didn't follow any of the story.
Yeah.
Maybe that's who John Hurt's character is.
We'll see.
That would be a twist.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is M. Night directing it?
I think so.
So we'll figure out the twist midway through, and then the twist is like the TARDIS key was broken. Or he had the wrong one, he couldn't get in.
Mm-hmm.
Some weird twist.
I'm excited now. I'm getting more and more excited. I was just talking to one of my coworkers about this. He's a new Who fan, and he also respects the classic Who as well. I mean, like, two coworkers I know that are definitely Doctor Who fans. They respect classic Who. But I'm like, are you going to watch him? Like, I'm probably going to DVR and watch it later, because it's Saturday.
But it's Doctor Who's 50th.
I know. So,
yeah.
He's going to, like, because he can just fast forward through the commercial. That's his thinking.
Well, I mean, I'm curious to see what the theater numbers are after it airs.
Yeah.
Because it's going to air on TV, so I'm sure people are going to see it. But I'm curious to see how well it does at the theater when it comes to, like, box office numbers. It's only airing for the one day. It's only going to be there one day. If I'm correct, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't done any of my homework on that.
I believe it's just one day, and I don't know how many showings, but...
I know I cannot take the day off on that day. I mean, that's holiday at Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's typical.
You call in sick.
I don't know.
I don't feel good. God, you're too honest.
I used to call in sick all the time at the Hyatt, at the hotel when I worked at it.
Like they somehow, like they're gonna know exactly who you are and which Hyatt. And you don't work there anymore. What's the difference?
Alright, like at the Hyatt I worked there, and I'm like, I would always call in sick, but now I'm like, nah, I don't.
It's because you love your job at a Seattle coffee house so much.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Sometimes people get on the side about some customer like, stop it! It's only coffee. Like, I literally get mad at my store manager because we were moving the line slowly, and we had two people not show up.
It's like, listen, if you want fast coffee, you go to McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts. You want quality coffee, come here.
Yes. And it's only coffee.
I hate saying I can't say that. I like Dunkin' Donuts better. But I found out last year that lighter roasted coffee has more caffeine in it than dark roast.
It's roasted less.
Yeah, when you roast it longer, the caffeine leaves. Yes. No one believes me. I get in constant arguments when I tell people that. I'm like, fine, look it up. Just look it up then. Because
oh my gosh, we get that a lot. I'm like, do you want caffeine or do you want flavor? Caffeine. Like,
that's why, like, when you buy like any coffee for like a Keurig or something that's called Donut Shop, it's like a medium to light roast because they used to have medium to light roast in the morning at donut shops to wake people up. Everyone thinks because it's more bitter, the darker ones, that make it's like no, it's got nothing to do with it.
It's like most people want the caffeine or they want the flavor.
But people have this conception that the darker has more caffeine, and it doesn't.
No, you're right.
So that's your little tip. There you go, listeners. There's your little coffee tip.
Yep.
Brought to you in part by no.
And I don't drink coffee, so
really?
No.
Wow.
Never liked it.
I didn't say I like it. I just said I drink it. There's a difference.
Yes, but I've never. I tried it in high school and like with all sorts of flavors.
Can you see her? Can you see her like
but
hiding herself like she's getting ready to do drugs? Only it's coffee. Like her mom's like, "What are you doing? Nothing."
Everyone was like, "Oh, coffee! I love coffee." I'm like, "Okay, I'll try it." I'm like, "No," and then they're like, "Oh, with flavors, you'll like it with flavors." And I tried. No.
I'm sorry. I've had hazelnut coffee and all, and French vanilla, and it smells different. It all tastes the same to me.
It does.
You add sugar and you add some different creamers or something. That's one thing, but yeah, I can't. It all tastes the same to me. Anyways, back to 50th anniversary stuff.
Wouldn't it be great if we could announce there's a special Doctor Who 50th anniversary coffee blend coming out, and then we could pretend this whole thing was. Keep
your eyes on ThinkGeek.com because if anyone's going to do it,
ThinkGeek will.
It'd probably be them. They have a Darth Vader dark roast, dark side roast or something coffee.
There's a line.
It's the best website ever. I can't go to it because I'll like max out my credit card.
There's a tea website called Adego Tea, and they have Doctor Who blends.
Adego, I've seen that.
So
Adego Tea. You know, being Italian, I'm offended by that. No, I'm kidding. I'm probably the least likely person to get offended. I'm probably most likely to offend. if anything.
No, like this tea company has like all sorts of Doctor Who tea.
Yeah,
so.
I've seen it, but I couldn't. They were out of stock on like everything. I think last time I looked, that was a while ago.
True.
No, but other 50th news. There's always rumors that so and so's in it, so and so's in it. Paul McGann once again admitted that he is a bit gutted not to star in the special.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. From the what a surprise, because even if he's, I mean, listen, he's kind of he's not a bad actor, so I mean, he could just be completely, who knows. He says, I was a bit dismayed, a bit gutted not to be asked, but the older doctors are not in it. There's all kinds of rumors doing the rounds. One gets tired of trying to refute things on Twitter and the like, but take it from me, I'm not in it. He did say he'd like to come back. He'd like to be on it again. So apparently he's not on it, and I'm sure we have a couple listeners, some that Joanna knows personally, that are going to keep calling it the 8th anniversary reunion, or 8th anniversary episode. I almost want to agree with that, except I understand why they're not bringing... Like you look at Tom Baker, he cannot reprise the role. He just... No. I mean, I get why they're not going to do it, but it is kind of...
But
like, McGann could have did it.
Yeah, you could...
And McGann was more than willing to do it. So, but, it's been... It came back in 2005, and it was off the air since 1989? 90?
89.
89? Yeah. I mean, other than McGann's, thing. So, I mean, 16 years had passed, What are you going to do? I would have liked to have seen Sylvester McCoy again with the umbrella.
And I still say, I think McCoy could do it, because the way his costume with the hat and everything's all covered, so...
Yeah, he probably could pull it off a little bit.
His age doesn't show quite as
No,
much,
but I don't know if he'd fit into the outfit anymore.
Well,
I know Colin wouldn't.
They can alter it a little bit. It's very layered. He's got all those he could.
Well, because even when they had Peter Davison guest on it in the Children's in Need Children's in Need special, I mean they kind of explained why he looked older. I mean, would you really need to do that? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you one thing: if John Pertwee was still alive, he would have beaten down the door of the BBC. Wanting to be, he would have driven the Whomobile to the BBC.
And he would have looked exactly the same.
Yeah, somehow the guy was off the show for
magical.
What? He left in 72? Four? I
think
74, and in 2000, in 90, was it 93? They did the special, so it was almost 20 years, and he looked like he had never left the role.
Mm-hmm. Oh, awesome!
He he didn't miss a step. He didn't miss a beat. He was perfect still. But, only time will tell. We'll see what happens. And just because they're not in it doesn't mean it's not going to pay homage to the past, and doesn't mean it's not going to be a good episode.
Mm-hmm. I mean, did either of you see the trailer?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it paid,
it showed all of them.
Yes, but, you realize this is something...
But like Stephen Moffat said, go back and count. Don't even get me started.
We'll find out. I cannot wait.
Yet I hate to say it, I'm excited for the 50th. I'm excited to see Peter Capaldi still.
Oh my gosh.
Finally a doctor with no love triangles, I have a good feeling about when he takes over.
I think the initial shock of when Matt Smith came aboard was short-lived, and then it's I'll just go with the flow. You
know what? I noticed this week, past couple weeks, as I was watching some reruns of episodes. I like a lot of the Matt Smith's episodes, and I like Matt Smith in a lot of parts of it. I don't know where I put his doctor on my list. Because the guy at work is on the David Tennant years now, and he watched the whole first. He watched all the Eccleston ones, and he liked it, but he started watching the David Tennant ones, and he's like, there's such a difference. They're more emotional. They get you more involved, and and he was right. But that was the thing. You watch the way Tennant. There was just something about David Tennant's doctor that, man, I'm watching it he's watching him at work on lunch, and I'm looking at my screen, and I'm kind of glancing over at his, not even hearing it. I'm still just watching it God, that was a good episode. And there were so many just really great episodes. And far less plot holes, I think, in some of that first season of his, too. Even like the girl in the fireplace. I mean, it didn't really have any weird, timey-wimey kind of crap. It was just, there's episodes. Good.
I saw Blink for the first time in, like, forever.
Such a good episode
I know.
And he's not even in it that much.
No, that's, like, the best part of it, because it was scary enough. I posted a question, like, on our Facebook. I'm like, are the Weeping Angels, a.k.a. the Lonely Assassins, are they good, bad, or evil?
Well, see how everyone they send back in time seems to have a stellar life?
Yeah.
It's hard to call them evil.
Well, yeah, but then in...
Chaotic good?
But then in
maybe?
The time of angels, they're just killing people.
True.
Well, they were desperate, Nicole.
Why were they
I don't...
They were scared of the
crack
in time, and they were desperate.
Changed the rules. They didn't kill people.
You know what?
The
changing of the rules didn't start until Stephen Moffat. I mean, that drastic of the change. Like the Daleks never went from like exterminating everybody to being like, we are here to help you farm your land. No, they never. No. The Cybermen weren't like, you will be. What was it? You will be upgraded if you choose. No. So the Weeping Angels all of a sudden cracking necks.
I like the Weeping Angels from the Blink episode way better.
Well, those are the same ones from Silence in the Library.
The Weeping Angels?
Not Silence in the Library.
Angels Take Manhattan.
No.
No, was it like...
they aren't killing people.
Which?
No, what was the
You
one
went
where
back
they
to
were...
it.
No, the one where they were...
The
first half of the episode we were just talking about. The first half of the one when they're in the caves.
Isn't that
Where
Time of Angels?
Time of Angels. The first half of that, they reminded me more of... They were scary still. Like...
Yeah.
Horror movie scary, not like action movie scary until the second half of that when,
No, keep your eyes closed.
Yeah, like the one where, like, the beginning of it where Amy Pond gets the sand coming out of her eyes because she sees it. That, like, the beginning of that episode and the first half of that, probably the first half of that episode, maybe the first half of those two, like the first episode, they were still kind of like the creepier, like, okay, this is, and then all of a sudden they're, like, chasing people down and, no.
All of a sudden, they were killing people. And I know he put it; it's a different situation.
Well, I can understand, I can understand killing the one guy to take him over to like lure the rest of them. I could get that part, but then it just got, it went too far. But yeah, the Angels Take Manhattan Angels were back to the,
Although then they had the people there definitely weren't getting a better life. They were living out the rest of their life in that little room that the Angels kindly labeled with their name on the outside.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
You mean that hotel?
I like that they just took the time to label.
I thought that was the battery thing that Neo was in from the Matrix. Wasn't that basically the same idea? Using the humans for their life energy? In this case, time energy. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know where we got sidetracked from. So Paul McGann's not in the 50th. We know that. I think that's where we left off.
Yes.
So we'll see if it becomes an 8th anniversary or if it, I don't know, whatever.
I think they're definitely going to be paying homage.
I'm just more excited for the new Doctor at this point.
Well, it does seem like forever. You learn about the new Doctor, and then it's like, oh yeah.
Well, they weren't going to announce Matt Smith leaving
Smiths.
for like they weren't going to announce it for like months until they found a new guy, and it leaked, and they had a. I still would have been like, screw you, we don't know. Screw you, he's not leaving. Yeah, whatever.
Well, you can still see all the press coverage. I was looking at something, and I saw the old articles where they all keep saying, Matt Smith says he'll be back for season 8. There's like all these like things where they kept saying, oh,
but
he's going to be back.
He's come out and said that he was going to stay past like the Christmas special. I mean, prior to, mid-season last year, he had made statements that he was going to be around next year. And so...
I think his career definitely took a turn at that point in the most recent months, several months.
You know what it is? I don't know. I like his Doctor, but not enough to where it's like, oh no, he's leaving.
Out with the old, in with the new. You're there.
It's funny, when Eccleston left, I was like, and they showed David Tennant, I'm like, who? Really? That's the new guy? He doesn't look like he, but he did fine.
And I think
Matt Smith took over, and I think Matt Smith did a great job, and he made it far. Him and Karen and Arthur really took it to. I mean, it really elevated even more. Like they obviously appealed to a lot of younger audience members somehow. I mean, there was just because going to Chicago TARDIS for the past 3 years, there was a whole lot different. I mean, there was a lot more of a different crowd there than before. Mm-hmm. I always say Eccleston brought it back and made it stable, and David Tennant propelled it to like movie star status, I guess, and then Matt Smith and Nat Crude made it. They were rock stars at San Diego Comic-Con. I mean, they were like rock stars there. I mean, the show has gotten so big.
Yeah.
And to everybody,
well, it was then that I remember the first time I saw the like Doctor Who ads on the L, and I was like, "Wait a second, that's an ad for Doctor Who."
Yeah.
On the L.
I mean, there are people that I would never expect to watch the show and like it that are like, "Oh, it's great," and it's like, "Wow, okay, cool."
It's the Dark Park podcast.
Yeah, that's how we have our fans. So that was cool. That's all the news. Nothing really,
Matt Smith turned 31.
Yes, he did. On the 28th, I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that I was at work sitting at my desk.
While
he was gallivanting around the world, acting and being a doctor.
Lucky him.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. So, Joanna, would you like to tell us about the photo shoot that the Chicago Doctor Who fans, a.k.a. the Order of the Blue Box?
We went to Lincoln Park Zoo, and it was a day of fun, friends, and pictures. We found an angel statue. And
I saw the pictures.
We took pictures in front of the weeping angel. Shock. Don't look. Look. Shock. Animals. All these animals. The zoo. We saw like a gorilla make a bed. We saw 2 gorillas make a bed. In the gorilla house. It's kind of fun.
There's about 4,000 pictures on the website for the Order, or the Facebook page for the Order of the Blue Box. There's a lot of photos.
Oh, I know. Everyone took pictures, the same pictures of the same people.
From slightly different angles. Not even like different angles, but like from a foot off.
True. But, it's a good way because it's...
We don't know what's going to come out and what doesn't, so, now you have them.
Yeah, and the best part of it, those photo shoots, is that everyone is a Doctor Who fan. It's either new Who or old Who. It's a time when, like, friends just get together and they just have fun.
I saw you had a Brigadier there this time.
We did.
Ken.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry.
It was nice to see Phil reprise his role as the Master.
Yes. I don't know if Charlo was there. We had our Charlo there. No, we had the Mr. Sims. Like Saxon.
John Sims showed up?
Saxon. Harold Saxon.
I don't remember I'd have to have the pictures up.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Like the guy who ran for like Prime Minister.
Yeah.
No, I know who you're talking about. I'm just trying to figure out who was dressed like.
It was Patrick.
Yeah, okay.
So, and then we had like, the Fires of Pompeii Girls.
Yeah, I saw there was one there.
That was Terry. Oh gosh, we had like Femme Jack, Femme Yanto, like, we had like 11. We had like, no.
No, you didn't have an 11.
We had like a Pertwee.
Yes, there was a Pertwee.
We had 2 Pertwees actually.
What's her name was one of them, right?
I think it's Nicole. I don't.
Not me.
Not this Nicole, but
this Nicole said how she'd love to do a Pertwee outfit, but we couldn't figure. And then right after the week after, I saw the pictures from that, and I'm like, oh, there was a Pertwee there.
No, seriously. I mean, she was really good.
Yeah.
And then we had another Pertwee. We had so many people. I mean, like, you see a couple of new people actually. So, which was really kind of nice.
It definitely looks like there were people there that were not there from the first one I went to.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's very much true. So there's always going to be new people coming. So you find each other on Facebook. Everyone becomes friends. So it was fun. I mean, it was definitely like worth going and worth the stress of working that morning at the coffee house.
It said Seattle Coffee House.
Yes.
It's not Starbucks. We're talking about Eddie Vedder's coffee chain.
No.
So you guys had fun?
Oh, yes. It was a long day at that point. It's like, you're exhausted. And the pictures go up pretty quickly after that, so...
They looked good. I mean, it looked like everyone had a good time.
I mean, we did, so... It rains, but the pictures, we didn't let it...
It didn't rain much, though.
Oh, no. It was, we got lucky weather, so... And it wasn't so hot either.
No, it seemed like it was alright.
It was kind of So, I highly recommend going to our next shoot again, so...
We also highly recommend telling your friends to listen to us if you listen to us and like us.
Exactly.
Not you, I'm talking about the listeners.
I know!
She, takes offense. I do!
I do tell my friends.
I'm not talking about you.
I do tell my friends.
Remember, it's 2 girls and a guy. This isn't all about you.
Well, excuse me.
So that's good then. Next one's probably going to be sometime in spring, right? Spring and fall traditionally?
Fall. Yes. So
fall, it is fall.
I'm sorry, I've had a long day, so I apologize for the lack of common sense.
That's okay. If the listeners have heard this podcast, they're used to it from the 3 of us. Well, at least from 2 of us. Usually this, other than saying penis monster all the whole last episode.
What happened?
Did you listen to it yet?
I haven't.
Oh, yeah. Well, in fact, I almost titled it Penis Monster.
There's nothing else you can call it.
Oh, gosh. Which is the penis monster?
It's from a Tom Baker episode.
Oh, gosh. I need a Tom Baker episode. And
Creature from the Pit.
Okay.
The creature is a penis monster. That's it.
Did you see this? Oh, gosh.
That's 2 girls, a guy, and a TARDIS for you. Just always keeping it highbrow. You won't get any phallic jokes here. Oh, wait.
Anybody that denies it is lying. Even Tom Baker knew.
I agree with you. I just thought it was we've never had the word penis on our podcast until the last 2. This one and the last one.
I will try to work that in once every episode from now. There is...
Did your mom listen to that episode?
Yes.
She probably laughed her ass off at the penis part, too.
She would agree. I said it looks... And she said, yes, it does.
No, I didn't disagree. It was just hilarious the way you did it. It was just out of nowhere. Just, penis monster.
Oh, gosh.
Good
There's
times.
nothing else you can call that.
No, you're right.
After the first time you see it, they change it.
They do.
Because
they must have
obviously they
it.
realized they made a penis monster, so we'll give it a few more appendages. But that first episode, you can't tell me that Tom Baker didn't know exactly what that looked like with what he was doing to it.
I want to know how many takes it took to do that scene. And I need to watch that now. I had to take a few scenes, a few takes.
So anyways, but that was last week's episode, and
that was a recap.
That was a recap on most of last week's episode.
The only important thing you need to know.
The best bits of last week's episode.
No, it was 2 weeks ago.
Last episode, 2 weeks, 3, 2.5 weeks. 3 by the time this airs, probably. Anyways, we finished up with Tom Baker, and when we finished, we left Tom Baker laying on the ground outside of a satellite array with the Watcher walking towards him. And we start
Tegan, Adric, and
with
Nissa.
Tegan, Adric, surrounded by his good friends Tegan, Nissa, and Adric, who he's known all of 3 minutes. And we pick up with our hero turning from the White Guardian into Peter Davison, the 5th Doctor, one of my favorites, whom I've met. Very nice guy. In fact, he's got a new TV show called I don't know if it's new, but a show called The Last Detective, where he plays a detective and he's kind of bumbling supposedly. So I gotta watch it. He's joined initially by Adric, Tegan, and Nissa, and my throat is bothering me. So Nicole, take it away.
Well, he's very different from Tom Baker.
Yes.
This is just my theory. I think he's a little more human. He's less
Agreed.
alien than most of the other doctors. He seems much more like he would blend in on Earth, and
he enjoys cricket.
Yes.
He wears
cricket
cricketer's outfit. He's good at it.
And his celery.
Yep.
Which might make him a little less human, but
I remember reading, and I do agree with this also, that he's probably the doctor that, up until that point, genuinely cares about the people he knows. And shows it. You know, he has a much different regard for his friends.
To jump to the end, he gives up his life for his companion. Perry. So
I'm sure in the 1980s, a lot of men would have given up their lives for Nicola Bryant. Probably still would. But no, he, yeah.
Yeah, much more human and not quite as quirky, I don't think, as most of the other doctors. I mean, he had his celery.
But sometimes he had an almost childlike quality at times. Like, when it came to, like, not figuring things out, but yeah, I guess even figuring things out sometimes, the way he thought about it, the way he did it. Mm-hmm. He was definitely played completely different than Baker. You also had a complete switch over the casting of the crew. Because, no, John Nathan Turner took over, the last year Tom Baker was around?
Think.
Good old J&T.
You also had the much younger doctor.
Yeah. Davison was the youngest doctor ever to play the part, I think, at the time.
Yeah, he's like 29? Yeah.
30? Yeah, right around there.
We both thought 29. I'm going with that.
And it was a departure for Peter Davison, who played a veterinarian on a show prior to that. And he admitted in many interviews since then that he felt he was too young for it, but how could you pass it up? You know, and he felt that he finally figured out how to play his doctor properly that last season, which then he became, Colin Baker. But I think I enjoyed a lot of I enjoyed almost every one of the Peter Davison episodes. The first villain he meets is the Master. Mm-hmm.
Got Adric in the web.
A lot of weird semi-bondage things going on in the J&T era. I believe Turlough at one point says that the writers never knew what to do with him, so he ended up in multiple states of bondage throughout the episode as he was captured.
Yeah, that first Castrovalva, Adric is like tied up in the web and controlling, and I was like, that was the first Peter Davison I ever saw, and I remember going like, this is kind of odd. Because at that point, I don't think I'd seen Adric in anything either, and I'm like, why is this kid in a web, and what is going on? It's a little weird. But...
Why does he have a
and
weird
he's
looking...
unconscious for like most of his first episode.
No offense to Matthew Waterhouse, but he seemed like he was unconscious in most of his episodes.
Well, the doctor is unconscious. He's like in that little like coffin-like thing,
because,
and they're bringing him around.
Because this is the first time that you see a regeneration that has trouble. He's kind of unstable in the beginning, and he needs to go to what they call the zero room. And they bring him to the zero room, but then he wakes up because the Master has Adric set the TARDIS to go to event zero, which means the Big Bang, which means that it's going to burn and everyone's going to die. He wakes up, leaves the zero room. We also see that the TARDIS, contrary to today's world, can be flown by other people because it has an index help file. Because Tegan and Nyssa figure out how to do parts of it.
And he unwinds the scarf.
He unwinds the scarf so he doesn't get lost, which was
big
kind of
symbolism of ending the Tom Baker era.
Which was sad yet hilarious at the same time.
I think when he was at Galley, TARDIS Terra made a scarf, and the actor actually
Peter Davison,
pardon me, actually unwound the scarf.
Oh, that would hurt.
Oh, I know. She did it so he could do that, apparently, so.
So they end up jettison. This is also the first time we find out they could jettison parts of the TARDIS, which actually ends up jettisoning the Zero Room, which is when they make that little coffin thing they carry him in.
Like, I know it had a better name probably on the show, but I remember it as he's almost in like a little coffin, and they carry him around.
Yeah.
And
they put him on a wheelchair at one point, and they lose the wheelchair and roll down a hill.
Oh god, that's funny.
No, Castrovalva was actually a pretty good episode. Actually, David Tennant's first episode, the Christmas special he was in, very similar. He's unconscious most of the time, and then wakes up just in time to save, everything. So we had Castrovalva, which was a good episode. Fort of Doomsday.
With the famous scene.
Which one? Castrovalva?
No, Fort of Doomsday when he's floating outside the TARDIS.
That's the episode it is. He's floating between the TARDIS and a spaceship or something. Okay. I couldn't think of it. I'm like, I just watched most of these.
Yeah, that's the dazzling special effects of the 80s.
What was the plot of that one?
You know, I don't know if I could really tell you. I just remember the floating and running around a bit. That really narrows it down. It's the episode where they ran around a bit. That one doesn't. The thing that really sticks out in my mind is Peter Davison floating out in space. So realistically.
Well, for the time, I mean. That first season, I honestly don't remember a whole lot. I remember Castrovalva, I remember Time Flight, Earthshock. Black Orchid doesn't ring a bell.
That's a total historical. It's like 2 parts.
Which means I probably didn't watch it.
And it's like a weird blend of like...
No, I had to watch it at some point, but...
Gothic story with an Agatha Christie thing. There's like a costume ball and people are dying. There's no aliens at all.
Do you remember the episode Kinda?
Yes, Kinda.
Kinda. What's Kinda about?
That's the trippy one where they're... Tegan
Thanks for clearing that up.
It is. Tegan gets... she falls asleep in the place of the dreaming on the planet or something, and then she gets taken over by the Mara. So she's like... You see her dreams for a lot of the episode, and like weird stuff happens. And then there's this like telepathic people on the planet, so people communicate telepathically, and everything is... I like that one a lot, but it's really weird. It's like...
I remember after... Once you start explaining them to me, then I'm not good with remembering most of the names.
That's, yeah, Tegan.
And I always mix that
evil.
one up with Snake Dance?
That's like the sequel, Snake Dance.
Yeah, I always mix those two up. But, yeah, so Kinda was pretty good. The Visitation?
Doctor starts the Great Fire of London.
Yes, it's with the, not Santarans, was it?
No, they're...
What are they?
They're weird,
God.
glittery robots they've got working for them. They're so 80s.
Who were the bad guys, though? I remember that episode, because they were going to use it. They were going to basically wipe out the population of Earth and start it anew in their image. And they...
Everyone wants to wipe out the population of Earth.
Yeah, that's true. The population of Earth wants to wipe out the population of Earth half the time.
But they've got the glittery robots. They're like... sparkly.
Yes.
I love those. They're so 80s. And so bizarre, but I am fond of them.
Because, they land at Heathrow Airport 300 years before it exists.
Way too early.
And Tegan gets pissed again.
Because Tegan wants to go home. Because it's much better to be a stewardess on a plane than flying a TARDIS.
The highwayman character's in it. I love that guy's character. Who are the
former
bad guys?
actor turned highwayman.
Yeah.
So he's prepared to act. And he's the most good-natured highwayman you're ever going to find, because...
Yeah, he was.
Not really too vicious or just carrying a gun, but more for show.
It was a Tenapatil or something like that. Some weird alien. They also had the Grim Reaper robot.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, that was...
When they cover up the sparkling facade with
Yeah.
the cloak and mask.
So yeah, that was a good episode though. I just don't remember the name of the aliens. It was like I said, Tentrals or something like that. But that one was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
And they said they do start the great London fire, and it's funny because don't they kind of
And he just leaves.
They kind of start it, and then they kind of like, oh, this is that fire. We gotta go.
Well, it's Peter Davison realizes that, and he's like, "No, I think we'd better just let this one burn." And leaves.
And they walk
and it's
out.
Like, okay.
I wonder how they would handle the Chicago fire. I think the Doctor was to come to Chicago.
A Santaran kicks over a lantern.
Cow aliens.
Fixed point in time.
Well, yeah, I think that's actually was it Tom Baker or Peter Davison was the first. Peter Davison is the first time I think you hear that he can't change something because it's a fixed point in time. If I'm correct, it's during Earthshock. He says he cannot go back and rescue Adric because he's become part of the event.
Yeah, he does.
And once you become part of the event, you cannot be removed because it alters the whole event. No one was going, oh, when Adric died, okay?
I know. I just go, oh, because...
I felt bad for Matthew Waterhouse. Nice, seems like a nice guy, but...
But they made him so whiny in the beginning of Earthshock.
But he's a teenager.
But
he wasn't always. Sometimes he wasn't whiny.
He grew more with Peter Davison's character than he did with Tom Baker.
He just sometimes does stuff he shouldn't.
I think he looked to the Fifth Doctor more as a mentor, and was always trying to impress him. Also, you know.
Yeah, he's always
like it.
Yeah.
What else?
Look at what I can do. I can fix this.
What was Black Orchid?
I said that's the historical one. 2 parts.
Right.
No aliens.
Skip that. Then the second to last episode's Earthshock. Cybermen come back. Good Cybermen episode, actually. Actually, it's a really good episode. I mean, sadly, Adric does die, but overall, that episode in general was pretty good.
As I said before, I like these Cybermen better than the new ones. I still hate Cybermen. I hate the new Cybermen. I don't like I like the old ones, but I hate the new ones.
And you're a new fan, which is even funny that you say that.
I know.
Oh, man.
No, I don't even like the ones from, like...
Well, the new Cybermen are just robots.
There's no, yeah, you don't get the sense that they were ever human.
No, they're just
you need
robots, so you've got that. How many times do you need to see complete robots that just...
Yeah, you have the Daleks.
Destroy stuff, yeah.
They're like the Daleks light.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there was never any suspense in... I can't think of the second season finale, and I'm forgetting the name.
Oh, and the Parting of the Ways.
No, it's first season. Second season is Army of Ghosts and Doomsday.
Yeah. Oh, the minute it was every fan.
When it's Daleks versus Cybermen,
it was every fanboy's dream, but you knew the Daleks were going to just annihilate them.
There was no way the Cybermen were going to win.
And it starts off kind of good for them. They electrocute some of the Daleks, then they're just like rerouting power or whatever the hell he says, and that's it. It's over. It's like.
And that was the funniest.
I mean, they were just beating the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Exterminate, delete. I'm like, oh my god. That's
right there. When that exchange happened, it showed you which bad guy was the cooler one.
Yes.
Because what sounds better, the bad guy going exterminate, or the bad guy going you will be deleted?
Well,
really?
They started out with an edge because wasn't that the one when they were like, they're both kind of going like, who are you and who are you, and then. Eventually, it's like the Dalek is like, I am a Dalek. Daleks do not, and it's like,
no, because the Cybermen
you told us you're a Dalek. There's like this weird little, and then it's just like, no, that was the only edge. The Cybermen wanted to work together for a little bit, or try to work together, or assimilate or whatever, and they did when that first little firefight started, they did electrocute some of the Daleks, and it seemed to work for a split second. And yeah, they get the acknowledgement of tricking the Daleks into saying who they are, and then get a couple of them, and then it's like, no, you have no chance in this fight.
Yeah, but watching the Cybermen just got so beat up. And then the only Cyberman that was actually almost like a real Cyberman was the girl from the Torchwood episode.
Lisa.
Lisa was probably the most real, like, what you expect a Cyberman to be, because she still had her humanity to a point. She was totally conflicted, and she wasn't completely. She didn't look like just a robot.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was a little too sexily clad to be a Cyberman, though.
Sexy Cyberman.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Slutty Cybermen's wearing even less clothes. But no, Earthshock is probably one of my favorite Cybermen episodes. There's not a lot of them that I like, and that one was pretty. I really wanted to like Neil Gaiman's last season. I don't think it was so much his fault. It's just here, Neil, take the shittiest bad guy we have, and make it cool.
Doesn't happen.
I still feel like that episode had too much going on. It was like you felt like there was more to it that just didn't. So then the parts that were left, you were like, wait, why did that happen? And why are they doing that? And then, they are totally not human when a Cyberman can just take off his head. It's like, how much of a human is left if you can just remove your head and place it somewhere else and then go get it?
In so many ways.
Yeah, I can accept, the arm coming off.
Yeah.
something like that. But the head, no. After Earthshock, we lose Adric, and we go to Time Flight.
Where you think you lose Tegan.
Yeah. I actually really like this episode. A lot of people hate it. The Master's back. You have Concords flying into another dimension. I mean, it's a little complicated, but cool nonetheless. The TARDIS appears over Heathrow, just like hovering, and everyone's... Before that, they land in Heathrow, and they're like, there's a report of a blue police box on the upper terminal or whatever. Nothing good to say about it? You didn't care for that one?
No, that's not one of my... But
no.
I
think I liked it mainly because it had a Concorde in it, and I liked the Concorde.
I have to admit, a lot of that one doesn't stick in my head. It's kind of like, I remember Tegan leaving, but not really wanting to leave. Because then she, races back at the last minute, but the TARDIS is already dematerialized.
How did they get her back in Arc of Infinity?
Because,
which, by the way, is episode 1 of season 2.
Conveniently, her cousin has, disappeared or something. And it's connected with the aliens in that story. So then she comes back with the Doctor, because of all the people on Earth, it just so happens that Tegan's cousin got...
Yeah, they were at a hostel or something, a youth hostel or something somewhere.
And her cousin disappears. So then, conveniently, and of course we have Colin Baker.
Yes, Colin Baker,
head of security on Gallifrey,
plays head of security on Gallifrey. A mere 2 seasons before he apparently ascends to the throne of Doctor.
Quite prominently, and it's not like a little tiny...
No, he's not a bit character.
No,
he's a big
there.
part in the episode, and then he becomes a Doctor later on. Yeah,
like the father in the Peter Capaldi's character in Fires of Pompeii.
Baker was more prominent than that.
Oh, really?
Well, first off, this episode was this story was 4 episodes long, and Colin Baker was in a lot of it. He was going to kill the Doctor.
Yeah, angry quite a bit of it, as I recall.
As he played the Doctor as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, it transitioned right. They went, we like that angry guy.
That's how Moffat's doing it. We're going to find out that Colin Baker was not the Doctor. I don't know, I'm just saying. Yeah.
He was the head of security masquerading as the Doctor.
That's an okay episode.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to Snake Dance, the sequel to Kinda.
Tegan gets to play evil for that episode.
Also, this season we see Tegan no longer wearing the flight attendant's outfit because she lost her job. She is dressed slightly more
80s?
Sexy for the 80s. A black miniskirt and she looks like she's going clubbing. I liked her character a lot more the second time around too. Unfortunately, she stays a while still.
Yeah, she's good.
She's on there for a while, yeah. So she she's one of the longest running companions.
Mm-hmm. I thought Jamie was one of the longest running.
Jamie is the longest.
Okay.
It's Jamie, then Sarah Jane, but Tegan holds the record for most she holds a record for something to do with most consecutive episodes or something like that. Sarah Jane really wasn't on the show that long. We talked about that during the 4th one. She was 3 seasons?
Maybe
4 seasons?
3.5?
Something like that.
I think she left in the middle of the... But yeah, that... No, Tegan... You thought she was gone, and then she came back, and...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was free of the uniform.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one, she's evil. She's taken over by the Mara.
Eviler.
But yeah, she's just running around.
Tegan was definitely, she was a forceful, you're doing it my way kind of person. Tegan argued with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Including the Doctor, Turlo, Adric, Nyssa occasionally, even though they became good friends. She wasn't around to argue with Perry.
No.
So that was Snake Dance, the sequel. I don't really remember the whole plot of it.
She hasn't quite gotten rid of her possessed by the Mara thing, and it takes over, and it makes her set the wrong coordinates in the TARDIS because she's helping the Doctor, and it brings them to the home of the Mara, and they're gonna have a ceremony, and the Mara is gonna be brought back. It's like a whole
Oh, okay.
But
it's like the end of James Bond: Live and Let Die with the voodoo guys.
There's lots of snakes.
Which is probably why I don't like it and don't remember it, because I'm not a snake fan. After Snake Dance, we have Modern and Dead. We see the Brigadier. He's a professor.
Oh, interesting career move. Because it was supposed to be Ian.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it. They went, Brigadier.
Well, it was nice to see the Brigadier. We meet Turlo, who is a student of the Brigadier's, and we find out Turlo is not all that he seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
Was Turlo an assassin?
Turlo was not an assassin. Turlo was a political exile from his home planet who, during a series of episodes known as the Black Guardian Trilogy, even though it was technically 4 episodes, the Black Guardian tells him, if you kill the Doctor, I can bring you home, and no one will mess with you or whatever. So there's some clumsy attempts, but eventually he turns on the Black Guardian and sides with the Doctor and won't do it.
Well, this was the season that was the 20th anniversary, right? So they were bringing back all the old... Mm-hmm. So they brought back the Black Guardian.
Right, the Black Guardian was from the Key of Time series, which was great. Good series. I want to say this encompassed Modern Undead, Terminus, Enlightenment, and King's Demons?
No,
not
King's Demons was historical again.
Yeah, there was one other one that they consider part of that trilogy. I don't remember what it was.
English Civil War, I think, King's Demons.
I always forget what the third one was.
I think it was those 3,
no, it
right?
was, it was Modern Undead, Terminus, and Enlightenment.
Yeah.
But, so we meet Turlo. The Doctor... Tegan feels there's something not right with the guy. Doesn't want him to travel with him. He helps solve a time paradox on Earth, saving everybody, and the Doctor says, okay, come with us. The Doctor says, I know what I'm doing, he can come. And this leads into Terminus, which is actually a really good episode, where they go to Terminus Station, which is supposedly where sick people go to get healed, when in reality they just go there to die, or be killed and used for whatever. I don't remember everything that happens in it, but I remember at the end, Nyssa decides to stay and help make the people well.
It was a plague.
Yeah, it was some plague.
And she caught it for a while. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, I'm going to stay and help.
Yeah, she decides to stay and help, and Tegan is astonished by it, and Turlo's impressed and astonished by it, and, she stays behind to help, heal people and run the station. Mm-hmm. Enlightenment, I don't remember.
I remember
Terminus was good. I remember a lot of crawling through, maintenance shafts or something in Terminus, though.
It's interesting the way sometimes your memory is something, and my memory is, they ran around a lot. It's like things that are completely not helpful at all, because how many times do they do that?
Every episode.
We're going to crawl through a duct here, and then we're going to run down this hallway, probably combine our memories of...
And you have a full episode.
Or at least a hell of a made-up one.
A good one.
Enlightenment I don't remember much.
That one had the Immortals in it. I remember liking it.
When does Chameleon come into the show? Chameleon's the silver android that's hunting, not hunting, but looking for Turlo.
Yeah.
Because, Turlo, interesting side note, Turlo is the last full-time male companion the Doctor has until... Do you really want to count Adam?
I think Mickey.
I would have thought Mickey, too.
Yeah, I'd count Mickey over Adam.
But wasn't Adam a companion before Mickey, technically? He was in 3 episodes.
Yeah. But Mickey was so much cooler.
Eventually.
Yeah.
In the beginning, he was a tool bag.
Oh, I'm kidding.
But prior to the new series, prior to Adam and Harkness and, you know, Mickey.
Yeah, I don't... Technically, Adam counts, but...
But he doesn't really count.
He didn't last very long.
No, and I was surprised he didn't, because he really wasn't a bad character. I mean, I didn't think there was anything, that warranted getting rid of him.
Well, then they were introducing Jack, so They weren't going to have the Doctor traveling with two men.
We have Enlightenment and the King's Demons, which you believe was a historical piece.
Yeah, I think that was English Civil War.
The ones that we say we think and we don't know much about and we don't remember, probably not the most memorable ones of the Peter Davison era. But in that same season, 1983, was the Five Doctors, which I adore that episode. Everyone rips on it. Oh, it's horrible. You know what? It's great. And I wish they could do it now. I wish they could. And basically someone opens up what's called the Forbidden Zone.
No, it was the Lord President.
Yeah, but why was he doing it? Oh, wasn't he? He turned out to be somebody else, though.
Because he wanted immortality.
That's right. Because contrary to what everyone's arguing about now on the internet, the amount of regenerations a Time Lord gets is dictated by the Time Lords. The end. I don't want any mail. I don't want any frickin' Facebook. It's hinted at and mentioned many times. They give the Master more regenerations. Hence, they control the amount of regenerations
that story,
you
right?
get. Yeah,
they're willing to give him another round of regenerations.
So, with the Time Lords gone, the Doctor can regenerate however the hell many times he wants.
But he wants... Rassilon could grant immortality, right? So Rassilon's buried in the Forbidden Zone. Yeah. He's using the Doctor and the Master.
Well, they're using the Master to warn the Doctor, but the Doctor, of course, doesn't listen to him. The best exchange is the first Doctor the Master runs into happens to be the one that recognizes them and doesn't like him at all, and it's Pertwee. And he shows him the seal of Rassilon, the proof he's from the High Council, and the Doctor takes it and says, I'll give this back to him when I see him and return the stolen property. Or he goes, no, stolen, no doubt. I'll return this when I see him, and he takes it from him.
Oh, I saw that. This one, as I saw it, I was like, I saw the destructiveness when Pertwee did that.
You're too far away.
Sorry.
Of course, it's really the three Doctors and the fake Doctor, because Tom Baker didn't do it, and Hartnell is dead. But
yeah, wow, way to go, Captain Buzzkill. They had to substitute Hartnell.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the three Doctors all over again. You've got three, really.
And Davison, who really wasn't in the beginning of it. Davison's not in the Forbidden Zone in the first couple episodes.
And he spends a lot of it with the Time Lords in the non-Forbidden Zone.
The non-Forbidden Zone. Do you ever wonder why he didn't while he was there visit the Savage chick? What was her name?
Leela?
Louise Jameson. Yeah, Leela. I mean, Leela was married to a Time Lord and lived on Gallifrey. You'd think she would have been there. But you see Daleks, you see Cybermen, what's that other killing machine that just destroys... another alien creature that destroys the Cybermen.
Oh, what was he... Yeah, the one that, appears and disappears.
He just disappears and appears and he shoots arrows.
Yeah. He was really a badass, but
Yeah, I'd like to see them again. He took out 5 Cybermen with ease.
I can't... Yeah, he was, guarding the entrance to the little cave... And I'm making hand gestures that no one can see, but that's okay.
We forgive you.
It's the pantomime part of the podcast, because...
Anyways, 5 Doctors, fun episode.
Yeah.
It was nice to see them all. It was nice to see Troughton, who didn't look much different. Pertwee looked like he still was playing him.
Yeah.
Pertwee looked like he was playing him on a side series somewhere else. The Doctor and the Detective, or some weird cop show, because he hadn't lost a step. We see Bessie again.
Yes.
You see Sarah Jane again. K9.
First
time we see K9. The Brigadier is back. He was back in Mildred Undead. But
Susan.
Yeah. Yes, who really didn't age poorly at all. She looked pretty close to, herself. I mean, she was 10 years older, but still.
You briefly see Jamie.
Yeah.
And Zoe, I think. And Liz Shaw.
Yeah.
Because they're all just hallucinations or... not quite, what are they? False images. They aren't really there.
Right, so that's
to trick
different.
him.
That's different.
So they're there for a second to go, Doctor! doctor, and he's like, you're not real. Okay, they're gone.
Yeah. Oh, that episode was pretty good. And we see that immortality comes at a cost.
Mm-hmm.
That was the end of season 23. That episode also, which was what, a total of, was it 4 episodes? 5?
The whole season?
No, that whole story.
The whole story? It's like a 90-minute thing, but did they broadcast it as episodes, or was it like a movie?
I don't remember. I thought it was
maybe
broadcast
it was
as
like
a movie. Next season happened to be the last for Peter Davison. Too bad, because there was actually a lot of good episodes in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Warriors of the Deep. We meet the
Silurians.
Yeah.
And the Sea Devils.
Yeah. Yep.
And the garbage bag looking monster.
Yeah. Well, it's better than the penis monster.
I don't remember the actual alien names. I call them by what they look like.
That's more fun.
Garbage bags.
Penises.
We're 3 years old.
Warriors of the Deep was a pretty good episode, though. I mean, the monster looked hideously bad. But overall, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed that episode. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
But they're on, like, an underwater, research complex. Excuse me, sorry. But they're on, like, an underwater research complex. And, when do they meet the Silurians? Is it because they're drilling?
Yeah, I want to say they're
always drilling something on these shows.
Oh, they're constantly drilling.
Or they're expanding, and the Silurians are, like, not wanting any part of it.
No kidding.
But yeah, I think they were drilling again. Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while, but I remember. Yeah, then they awaken the Silurians and the Sea Devils again, and that's never good.
Oops.
No, it never is. Warriors of the Deep, the Awakening, I don't remember.
I want to say that was another historical.
Probably. Frontios? Hey, don't look at me if you don't remember it. I mean,
I am drawing a complete blank on that one.
Yeah, same here.
I do not remember that one at all.
But I remember the next one, Resurrection of the Daleks.
Yes.
Tegan leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Really, Tegan leaves, and there's only 2 more episodes of Davison anyway. She was there almost his entire run.
Mm-hmm.
But Resurrection of the Daleks was a pretty good episode. Davros is in it. Yeah. That's the whole plot, is that they're trying to kidnap Davros or break Davros out of prison. Really. Yeah. And Turlo, I don't even know what he does. He just runs around a lot. I have no idea really what the guy did in that episode.
Yeah.
He's on the Dalek ship, and he's on Earth, and I don't remember.
Tegan was captured for a while.
We find out that the Daleks use mind control on humans. So we find out they're using humans to help them out.
Oh, yeah. They are.
Yep. Not those ape-like creatures. Well, I guess humans are kind of ape-like creatures. But not those, actually ape-looking characters.
And then from there, they move on to the new series using pig slaves. So
yeah, they've really gone down.
They thought pigs were better than men, I guess.
Yeah, but Resurrection of the Daleks also kicked off the trilogy of Dalek episodes that all follow, which is Resurrection, Revelations, and Remembrance, which is the best Dalek episode I think ever to this day, or at least maybe second, only to the Tom Baker Genesis. But Remembrance is just so good. Resurrection of the Daleks wasn't bad. They're on this. You feel bad for everybody on that space station. One guy's about to leave. One girl's about to leave. One guy's trying to clean it up, and they all die.
It's very dark.
It is. That's why Tegan leaves. Tegan decides she's seen too much. I think she even says it stopped being fun. Mm-hmm. And luck would have it, they just happen to be in her time period.
Mm-hmm. It's convenient the way sometimes things work out like that.
Yeah. Then we go to Planet of Fire, which is Turlo's last episode.
Yeah, Turlo leaves. And Chameleon,
Turlo finds out that it's safe to go back home. We find out everything about him, that he's from the planet Trion, there was a civil war, him and his family were exiled, and the girl he was in love with was on the wrong side of the Civil War. Her father, that's why her father exiled them all.
And they pick up
Perry, who is a student.
Perpigillion Brown.
Who is a student.
Botany.
During Greece?
Which I always love. I was like, of all the... And every now and then I know that's getting ahead, but they throw in the like, oh, what herb would this be? And she's like, oh, well, I can do... Like, this is the weirdest specialty to give her. Botany.
It was in Greece, right? And the master's in this episode.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the Mediterranean, for sure. And she doesn't want to go back to school, and her stepfather is forcing her to go back to school somehow, and she ends up with the doctor and Turlough. Well, she jumps off the boat or something, and Turlough saves her. I believe the first Doctor Who assistant on screen to wear a bikini. If I'm correct, too.
I think so.
Perry.
I mean, Sarah Jane wore a little, like a two-piece, but not...
Yeah, well, I don't think those really existed the way they did in the 80s.
It wasn't terribly revealing. It was like shorts and a little midriff-bearing top, as I recall.
Blasphemy.
And she had like a beach ball. She was supposed to go to the beach.
Yes.
I can't remember which Tom Baker that was, but...
That's okay, because we're still talking about the Davison episodes.
Yes.
Caves on Androzny, not a bad episode. Kind of a Phantom of the Opera feel to it, right?
Masked,
yeah.
Disfigured man.
The doctor gives his life to save
exacting
Perry,
his revenge. Yeah.
And
another plague.
Yeah.
Well, not quite a plague. He steps in the. They get the. Oh, what were they harvesting there?
Organs. I don't know.
It was some growth, and they get it on them, and then they're gonna die. Unless they get the milk from the queen bat. I remember that, because I remember thinking, how did he get the milk? Because the doctor, like, goes and gets and comes back with, like, a little vial. And I'm like, did he just milk a bat? That is the weirdest thing to need.
We need bat's milk.
I can milk the queen bat. But he only has enough to save one.
But he dies at the end. Well, he regenerates at the end. Into...
Change, and not a moment too soon.
Oh, God, that's right. He changes into Colin Baker. Colin Baker's first word... Oh, Perry says, Doctor, what happened? Or something like that. And Baker's first words are change. And not a moment too soon.
And then the doctor who just gave his life to save his companion tries to strangle her.
Because he has an unstable regeneration and there's no zero room. I will say... Colin Baker truly wanted to play the role. Colin Baker said he wanted to be the longest-running Doctor ever, and he truly believed he could be that.
But they didn't set him up well at all.
It was poor writing. It was poor costume.
Because you went from the Doctor who sacrificed himself to him trying to kill his companion. He
wasn't himself.
It's like... But if you wanted to set it up for people to, like, hate him from the start...
Yeah, well, they did a good job.
I mean, like, I haven't seen any of the Colin Baker episodes, I have to admit, so...
He's harder to like. Just, they set him up that way. It's not even like it's his fault, or they just, like, wanted him to be abrasive.
Yeah.
And I don't hate him, but he would never be my favorite. He's, like... I mean, the way they set it up, as I said, they couldn't have set him up worse. Because he's like, you have the doctor that gave his own life to save Perry, and then within the next episode, he's trying to strangle her. Because he's unstable, and you're like...
Really?
You really set him up to be hated. Because you're like, who is that? Like, why is he... And he's so pompous. Not that other doctors weren't, but there's something about him that you're kind of like, he is, like, in love with himself.
Ugh. I hate that.
And he and Perry just argue. Like an old married couple that should just divorce. They're, like, bickering through the first season, like, they never agree. So you're like, you gave him a companion that doesn't like him. He's more difficult. It's like, you just... It's like they didn't think it through. Like, it was an interesting choice to make the Doctor not as likable, but he's just... It's like they all of a sudden just went, be pompous and nobody will like you.
And douchey.
Yeah, he's... Well, I said it's like he and Perry are like... I said like an old married couple that should just divorce for the first season. They're like arguing all the time. Even his companion doesn't like him.
How many seasons was Colin Baker?
2, right?
2.
Oh.
3.
And within 18...
Well,
he did his first episodes, the end of...
No, it was 2. Yeah, it was 2. And then he was so...
And there's the 18-month hiatus from there, too.
Yeah. He was so pissed off that he did not want to come back to do the regeneration scene.
So McCoy
had to wear the wig.
Yeah. Well, of all the Doctors to do it, I'm sure McCoy was... ready to throw himself into that.
Yeah, there was the 18-month production hiatus. Do you think that they wanted the coat to be the new scarf?
If they did, they were so wrong.
Oh, obviously. But, I mean, do you think that's what they were going for? Mm-hmm. Or were they just freaking colorblind?
Although I do like when he's choosing his outfit. And he's in the TARDIS wardrobe.
Doesn't he put on Troughton's
Well, he looks
coat?
at Troughton's fur coat, and then he puts on Pertwee's maroon velvety
blazer,
jacket, and then he's like, "No, this is it." And you're like, "No," but Perry insults his choice too. Mm. She's like, "You have no fashion sense." What says the woman who has some interesting fashion choices herself.
They made her look like Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka, wearing all purple. Perry was not a big girl at all, by any means. She looked like a walking plum. It was hideous
She's
choice of
always
outfits
in
that.
short shorts and a top, and it...
Okay, when she was in short shorts, at least she didn't look like a plum. That outfit they had her in the one time with that purple jacket. Oh, God, so bad.
Yeah.
I guess the Colin Baker years are marred by Colin not getting along with the production. Like, Colin wanting to go one way and them wanting him to play it a different way. And
well, he wanted a leather jacket.
A lot, yeah.
So he was so jealous of Eccleston.
Yeah, a lot of the stories just aren't really well written. I mean, any who's better than no who, but this is pushing some of them.
Some of them aren't, but it's just
you
have
know what?
to...
The twin dilemma, I don't even remember.
There's twins
His first
that are
one.
kidnapped.
Attack of the Cybermen. Again, the Cybermen suck anyway.
Yeah, that one isn't.
Vengeance on Varos wasn't
I
bad.
Like that one
I like. Mark of the Rani. They introduced a female Time Lord.
It's like a scientist.
Yeah, she's an evil scientist. That's not a bad episode. The Two Doctors, oddly enough, I'm going to say I like it. A lot of people tell me how horrible it is. But it was worth it just to see Troughton again. Just to see Troughton and Jamie one last time was well worth it. Time Lash. I've seen that one 100 times and I can't tell you what it's about.
I just remember it wasn't very good.
Revelation of the Daleks. Interesting. Actually, not bad.
Yeah, it's not a bad...
They find out that the Daleks are using a mortuary as a hideout, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's an assassin out to assassinate Davros. And that episode's not too bad. There's some interesting things in there.
Yeah, those are all when they changed the format, too. The 2 45-minute episodes.
Yeah, and they moved it to Saturday. Because for a while it was bi-weekly, half-hour episodes, and then it moved to Saturdays.
I think in the 80s they changed it like crazy at that point.
They were just trying to kill off the show.
We'll put it here, we'll do it this way, we'll do it that way.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm a little tired.
A little bit?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm like...
Revelation of the Daleks, not a horrible episode. Not great. It's not Remembrance. It's not Resurrection. But it's not bad. Mm-hmm. In some of these episodes we do see, in the Cybermen episode especially, you see Perry and the Doctor holding people at gunpoint. in the episode in Resurrection of the Daleks, you see Peter Davison holding Davros at gunpoint.
Yeah.
So, what was RTD talking about when he said the Doctor doesn't use guns? There's lots of instances where the Doctor is using it, not only holding a gun, but using it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't remember which episodes I saw like David Tennant's Doctor do it.
Eccleston has that big ass gun he's going to shoot the Dalek with.
Yeah.
But that doesn't count. That's fighting the Daleks.
He uses guns a lot on the Daleks. They don't apply to his no gun rule.
No.
Nope.
Pertwee used guns against the Green Death. The worms, right? Wasn't he shooting at the worms?
Well, some of the Doctors use, like, I'm like, are we going technically they don't have, like, a handgun or a rifle? They have some high-tech, futuristic weapon? Because a lot of them are... Count. Yeah, a lot of them are those. So, I mean, is that what we're not counting?
It's true. Season 23, 1986, the final Colin Baker series.
Trial of a Time Lord.
It's horrible. The only reason it's watchable is because it's Doctor Who.
Some of them aren't bad.
We're introduced to Mel at some point during this season, aren't we?
Yeah, that's...
Because, wait, no, is she in Revelation?
No, she's in the... is it Terror of the Vervoid? No.
Yeah, she might be.
The Vervoids. Is it Terror? The first part? Like, am I getting
Well,
that
the first
right?
episode's A Mysterious Planet. I don't remember which one of these is which. I remember that the Valeyard...
That's where they introduced Glitz.
Yes, Avalon Glitz.
Mel's future.
Yeah. The basic overview is that the Valeyard is trying to have the Doctor put away in prison or put to death, one of the two.
Because he wants his remaining lives.
He wants his remaining regenerations, and he falsifies stuff in what they call the Matrix to make it look like the Doctor did things he didn't. We later find out that the Valeyard is actually a future incarnation of the Doctor, which led to the speculation that John Hurt was the Valeyard, because I think he was between 11 and 12, or 12 and 13.
12 and 13,
yeah.
I think they said. Yeah, but then you gotta listen to Colin Baker. The one part is it gets so tiring is the trial, and he just keeps going like, well, the stockyard over here, and the backyard, you're like, how many different compound words using yard are you gonna call him? Because he just does that constant. It's like, was that like a game in the writer's room? They went, how many different words can we come up with that end in yard? And they had like a long list, and they went, use these this time. Because that is like a repeated joke through the whole thing that I'm just like, this got...
We find out that Perry's dead.
But not.
But then they save her because they figured it would be too bad. They didn't want to kill off another companion. It's just a weak series. It's not great. I mean, there's a couple episodes that are good. I mean, they're watchable, but not by...
Although, actually, I think I liked Mel better with Colin Baker's Doctor than McCoy. Because it was like a better contrast.
Mel worked very well with Colin Baker.
Even though they only had 6 episodes together?
She worked better with Colin Baker than Perry did.
Yeah.
She did not work so well with Sylvester McCoy, but McCoy and Sophie Aldred were brilliant together.
Yeah.
They were just perfect together, you know. And I think if Mel had came in somewhere mid-first season of Colin Baker, I mean, it could have provided a lot better chemistry on screen.
She was like a better... Because she was
foil.
all like peppy and upbeat, so then you combine her.
She has him on an exercise bike.
Yeah.
Drinking carrot juice on an exercise bike. Yeah.
I was like, that...
She walks out and he's like 1, 2, and he stops pedaling and he's like 3, 4, 5, 6, and she walks back and he starts again.
Yeah, she was a better... I liked her with Colin Baker, actually. With Sylvester McCoy,
the chemistry wasn't quite right.
No.
Her and McCoy, they got along. It's just, it didn't work on screen as well as you'd hoped.
Well, I think it was more of a contrast with Colin Baker, because he was much more, like, irritable and... Mm-hmm. And then she was just all upbeat and, okay, we're going to do this. And you were like, okay, that can play off of that. With McCoy, he wasn't particularly...
I never understood the immense amount of hatred for her character.
No.
I never thought she was that bad.
No,
there's been worse. Dodo was worse than her.
Yeah, I didn't have a big problem with her. I mean, she would not be my favorite companion, but...
No, but she wouldn't be on my hated list either.
But I think she works better when you look at her with Baker than McCoy.
Agreed.
If you look at her with McCoy, she can be kind of annoying at times. Baker, you went, okay, I get why they brought in that particular character.
Yeah.
But
then at the end of the Trial of the Time Lord, everything's Jim Dandy. Everything's great. Everything's perfect. Doctor flies off with Mel in the TARDIS.
And the Master's in the end of that.
The Master is in the end of it. That's true.
Saves the Doctor.
Yes, because a universe without the Doctor is not a universe worth thinking about. Is that what he says in one episode?
There's some,
I don't know
but
if
he
it's that
just
episode
wants
or
to.
Another one.
You get the impression he wants the privilege of destroying the Doctor himself.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He's not going to let the Valiard or the Stockyard or the Backyard or whatever any of the other 20 puns they come up with is. He's not going to let him get the fun.
That's true.
He wants them.
But, yeah, that series ends. Oh, everything's hunky-dory. We have an 18-month hiatus. Colin Baker is fired. We come back with Sylvester McCoy, which we'll talk about in our next episode. Mm-hmm. Because everyone, in retrospect, seems to like Sylvester McCoy more and more.
Mm-hmm. I like Sylvester McCoy and Peter Davison. Mm-hmm. It's my two classics. Mm-hmm. The new classics.
Everyone, I used to get a lot of crap for saying that Tom Baker wasn't one of my favorites, but Pertwee, Davison, and McCoy were my three top classic Doctors, in no particular order. I mean, so I got nothing else. You guys?
I'm good.
No, I think
that was episode 21. Is what you're about to say?
Yeah.
Of Two Girls, a Guy, and a TARDIS. We'll probably be back a lot sooner this time. And we'll finish up our classic Doctor review before the 50th.
I think McGann is going to take a long time.
Oh, no.
He did so many episodes.
Well, are we talking about Big Finish? Because he did a lot of those.
We haven't gone there, so.
Yeah, that's true. So, anyways.
Otherwise, these episodes would be.
We'd have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
We'd be cutting each of these into separate episodes.
Yeah.
So. But, anyways, thanks for listening. And I'm John.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Joanna.
And we are Two Girls, a Guy, and a TARDIS. Doo-doo. Until we get theme music, right?